to go?
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So recording we're live now. Yeah. So welcome, Lola. How should I pronounce your name? Is it Lola or Lola or
It's Lola.
Lola? Lola?
L- Yeah, sounds.
Lola? Okay. Okay. Lola. Yeah. So I mean, thanks for joining us. Or thanks for joining me, Lola. It's a pleasure to have you here. Yeah. So let's go. Tell us about Lola and her background, please.
Um, yeah, I was born in Uzbekistan. It's a very sunny place in Middle Asia, I guess, in Central Asia. So I spent all my childhood there, and I had a really big dream to travel all around the world, but it was very expensive to travel from Uzbekistan because flights are really expensive. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but when I was like 20, it was very expensive. So I decided to move to Russia. It was like neighboring country, and it was easier to travel from Russia. So I moved to Russia, and it was very difficult for me at first because I was like alone with just one suitcase. I decided to switch country without any relatives or friends. Um, but then I have found a job, like a marketing specialist in a big IT company, and I thought, yes, marketing is my like dream job. I started my education in marketing, so I have a bachelor's degree actually uh, in marketing, and then I've met my husband. He shared my dream. He also wanted to travel a lot, so we moved to Poland together because he's from Ukraine, I'm from Russia, and we decided not to choose one of our countries. We moved to Poland, and it was very difficult for me to learn Polish. And then he got a job proposal from Sweden, and we moved to Sweden, lived a couple of years there, and just last year, uh, yeah, we moved to the UK, and now we're trying to build our lives from scratch here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. It's good to see that you've moved around quite a lot, and that'll impact some of the questions. Well, that'll inform some of the questions that I'll ask you later. But how did you get started? In the arts. You've just mentioned that you have a marketing background. How did you go from marketing to children's book illustrator?
It was when we lived in Sweden. I quit my job from this IT company, and I started to look another one. But it was very difficult in Sweden because even if there are a lot of English speaking company in Sweden, they wanted someone who speak English and Swedish for marketing position. So I had to even learn Swedish and improve my English, or I had to switch my profession to something different. So my husband, he told me, just take your time, just find out what you want to do. And I tried different things. I tried front end development, graphic design, and illustrations, of course. But yeah, even when I found out that I want to do illustration, um, it was very difficult to choose which one of illustration I like to do because there is a lot. I tried canvas painting and watercolor, and then um, again my husband he bought me an iPad, and I tried to do some illustrations on iPad, and I liked it. And I finally uh, decided to make it like digital illustrations and cute children's picture books. It's what I
Hmm.
love to do more.
Interesting. I'm
It
curious to
was
find out. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
it was
Continue.
very long.
Yes, yes, but eventually you found something that you wanted to do, which is good, and you're very good at it. Just in case
Thank
anyone's
you.
watching, yeah, this is one of Lola's books. Quite interesting, I should say. Um, but I'm curious to find out, Lola. Um, so you tried different things before you eventually settled for children's illustration. Can you recall any time in your childhood where you loved drawing, or did you draw at any point in your childhood?
Yes, I loved drawing when I was a kid, but I couldn't imagine that I will like earn money with this. I didn't even know that it's possible because when someone asked me who you want to be when you like grow up, it was like different options like a doctor or a lawyer. No one asked me if you want to be like artist. I don't know. I just thought that artists should be like poor.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but I was good at it like from the beginning. Didn't I don't have any education in art. I just could draw like from the beginning.
Hmm. Hmm, interesting. I like that you mentioned that because some people can relate to this. I interviewed someone, and not just even someone. I can say the same thing for Tita. I can say the same thing for Samson, who's another artist who's based in Canada that I interviewed. And it was the same thing, a different background growing up, different expectations. People expect you to follow traditional paths of becoming either a lawyer or an engineer, or no one really ever mentions art or artists or illustrators as a profession. And I don't know, maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's something to do with where some of us are coming from. And so I should ask you, in Uzbekistan, for example, did you know any artists growing up? Did you have any artists that you could look up to?
No, no one.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. But even for the children, but I'm guessing that you read children's books while you were growing up from artists or writers and illustrators of Uzbekistani origin.
No, not actually, because it was USSR before, so I had some Russian children's books with illustrations. But my favorite story I read in newspaper. It was a special newspaper for kids, and they printed Harry Potter story. It was just one spread in every newspaper, and I bought it and bought like just to continue read the story. I didn't even know that there is a book. I thought that this is just a story in this newspaper. Yeah,
Uh,
and
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I've read like three first book from this newspaper, so you can
Hmm.
imagine how much I bought of them.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of that newspaper?
Ah, it was okay. The name
Hmm.
of the newspaper. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Hmm. So, you were born in Uzbekistan. You've lived across different countries: Russia, Poland, Sweden. I think I also came across Kazakhstan on your website, and now the
Yeah,
UK.
my dad
Yeah,
lives in Kazakhstan, so I spend a lot of
Kazakhstan.
time there.
Oh, okay. And do you think that these have influenced your arts in any way? Have they had any influence on your arts, your drawing style?
Um, I don't know. I can say that it directly influenced my art because I taught like myself, and especially when I started to learn more about children's book illustrations, it was in Sweden, and I tried to improve my English at the same time. So I decided to took as much information as I can and in English. So all the books or workshops which I took was from like UK and US based illustrators. So it's more like
I see what you mean. So in a bid to improve upon your English, you mainly focused on English speaking, well, English meeting children's books from the USA or the UK. Do you have any favorites that you can remember?
yes. I think it's Benji Davis. if you
Mm,
know him. Mm, he has
Benji.
very like simple style of illustrations. It's completely different from mine, but I love his illustrations. When I started to make my like marketing research in children's book industry, because I'm marketer,
Mm-hmm.
I went to the library in Sweden, which was next to my like home, my building, and I couldn't understand what's written in these books. I just took some like children's books in Swedish,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just those which I liked, how they was drawn, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them. It was the book of Benji Davis. I like it so much. When I came home, I just read it with the Google Translator. And I went back to the library and asked them if they have any other books of this author and illustrator. And I took all
Hmm.
of them. It was very fun.
Hmm. Interesting. Is Benji Davis, is he British or American, or do you know where he's from?
I don't know actually.
Okay, okay. I'll do some
Sure.
digging about him myself, so no worries about that. That's interesting to
Yeah.
hear. And yeah, so my guess is because Benji Davis was like your point of reference. Can I then say that your influence, your style is mainly along the lines of the British or American artists in a sense?
Um, I don't know
Hmm. Hmm.
because it's like children's books. They are so different. Um,
Hmm. 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 Yeah.
really, I can say which one it's more like more.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fine. But do you find that so going by all these different places that you've lived, do you find that you draw to represent those cultures? For example, do you draw things that represent, Uzbekistan culture or Kazakhstan culture or Russian culture? Do you find that you do something like that?
Um, yes, this year I plan to participate in Bologna Children's Book Fair illustrators competition or exhibition.
Nice.
And when been choosing the topic, what I want to draw for this like event, I decided to draw some pictures about Uzbekistan. It was like mm, five illustrations from my childhood when I spent some time in my grand grandma's place. It was a small village in Uzbekistan, and she had her own like bakery.
Mm,
So I
wow.
draw this how she did like bread, and then I illustrated me and my dad on like donkey. It's one of my memory from Uzbekistan, and we jumped from the roof to the big like I don't know, dry grass. I don't know how to say it in English, like
Mhm.
yellow dry grass.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
just jumped from the roof to this.
Oh wow. When you were small with your dad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. That's so beautiful memories. I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah, and
interesting.
I illustrated all of them, and I hope that they will be chosen for the
Nah.
exhibition.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I wish you the best with that. I mean, Tita did something similar. I remember she mentioned how when she was fresh out of university, she didn't know what to do next, but then she just, made this big, mural of her book, The Dress, in
Oh,
which isn't, I mean, it was a bit rough as at the time, but she was able to get into the London Book Fair with that. She was able to land an agent, and so you never know. So I think you're doing the right thing, just taking chances, trying your best, and I wish you the best. Yes. Yeah. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So you've drawn things around your childhood in Uzbekistan. Have you drawn around your experiences across Sweden or Kazakhstan or any other environment? Do you have any
um,
drawings to those effects?
No, no, but I had an idea to illustrate some Swedish stories about Vikings.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Are you still going to do that eventually, or?
Yes, one day I will definitely do this.
Ah, okay, that's good to hear. How long now have you been drawing professionally, Lola?
um, it's 2.5 or 3 years. Yeah, but
Okay.
I
Oh.
always was drawing something. It was just small pictures, like in my notebooks, or I don't know,
Hmm. Hmm.
small pieces of paper. Especially when I talked on the phone, I always draw something.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just a bit.
Would that mean that you're on the phone for hours, or it doesn't matter how long you stay on the phone, you scribble something down?
Yeah,
Even if it's for 5 minutes, you will draw something, even if it's for less than 5 minutes also.
not 5 minutes, but in if it's like 10, 15 minutes, I can just sit and
Wow.
doodle something.
I'm curious though, what's the inspiration, and is the inspiration then the person that you're speaking to, or what you're talking about, or just about anything?
The no, it's just anything. I don't know. It's not connected with the speech or the with the person who I spoke with. It's just some
Wow.
doodling something, just
That's in,
cats or dogs.
that's interesting. I mean, that shows how much passion you have for drawing. My next question is around your milestones. So, you've been drawing professionally now for just over 2 years, like you mentioned. Do you have
Yeah.
any highlights so far? Do you have any milestones, any standout moments so far?
Um, I think I haven't had it yet, and my like big break is in the future. But it was very important moment for me when I won a scholarship for Manchester's conference by SCBWI last year. So um, I just moved to the UK, so it was we spent almost all our money for this like movement, and I wanted to go to this conference, but I thought maybe next year. But then I saw that they run a scholarship for this, and I thought maybe I should apply, maybe not. But I applied and I won, and I could go for free. So the tickets was for free for me, and it was incredible. I've met so many inspiring people, and yeah, I
Wow.
still have this feeling of inspiration after this conference,
Ah,
and I
wow.
have a lot of ideas which I found when I was there.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for sharing that. That's really touching, because I mean, that's where I met you. For example, I mean, I met you at the Scooby conference, so I didn't know that that was story behind your presence there, or your yeah. So that's good to really hear. Yeah, and I'm sure, like you mentioned, your big breaks, because you're not just going to have one big break; you're going to have multiple big breaks. So I look forward to sharing in your good news as the big breaks come. But I do think that what you shared is a truly inspiring one, and I think that that would also inspire someone out there. So yeah, good thing to also know that you're still getting inspired by your experience of that conference. Yeah, good. Thank you for sharing that. That's a really good one. Yeah. Hmm. So would you say that this is again, this is going back to your travels across different countries, because I find that very fascinating. Um, in Sweden, where well, I think that's where you started your professional drawing
Yeah.
career from, right? Did you get integrated into the art, art or illustration or creative scene in Sweden? Did you sort of move around and meet other illustrators and the likes in Sweden?
No, no, unfortunately not.
Hmm.
I was like alone freelance illustrator, and I spent a lot of time for illustrating children's books for like independent authors who self-published their books. And when I had a free time, I learned. like more about illustration and color theory, composition. I took
Hmm.
different master classes and workshops from different illustrators. I tried different styles before I could find mine.
Hmm. Wow, that's interesting. And I'm going to touch on the fact that you took different classes, workshops, and the right and the likes because uh one of my guests, Samson, mentioned that one course that changed his life was a course that he took from an academy called CGMA, Computer
Mm.
Graphics Masters Academy. So I'm curious to find out from you what workshops, can you share some of the workshops that you took? What platforms? Where did you take those workshops? Were they online? Were they offline? Yeah.
They were online, and it's usually like just short, one by one, like step by step lessons from illustrators, which I follow on Instagram. So I bought some workshops on different platforms, but I don't remember which platforms it was because I found them on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And those really
And
helped you.
yeah, one of my favorite workshop which I took, especially I mean, this one started uh, my career.
Hmm.
It was like workshop or masterclass by one of the famous Ukrainian artists, Alexandra Dikaya.
Hmm.
She did this charity project to help to Ukraine, and she explained how to write a children's story and how to illustrate it. So it was a very big community of illustrators who was just in the beginning of their way,
Hmm.
and we are all created our own stories and illustrated it. And the best stories was chosen to the big book of story tales, which you still can buy on her website and support Ukraine.
Hmm.
uh, and I loved this process. I loved writing the book. I write the illustration, and we need some kind of like 5 or 7 illustrations for our stories because it's like a big book with different stories. But I
Hmm.
loved it so much, so I created the full 32 pages picture book with my
Wow.
story. It's about plastic bag. I don't know, maybe you've seen it on my website.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was
That's
so
interesting.
inspired by this project, so
Hmm.
I decided to do another one. And this hamster team, which you have, it was my second book. Yeah,
Okay.
right after the plastic bag.
Ah, nice, 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 nice. This is good though. So you wrote, so this story you wrote by yourself.
Yeah,
Okay. Hmm. What's the inspiration behind this story, if you don't mind me asking?
it's funny story because I didn't had any like big idea behind this book. Um, I mean, when I wrote the first one about plastic bag, it was connected with me because I was very uh, impressed by how people in Sweden like behave with the rubbish and this all these
Yeah.
recycling things, which is really impressive in Sweden. They recycle
Mhm.
almost 99% of everything.
Wow.
Yeah, but the second one, I just wanted to create some more illustrations for my portfolio, and I needed a
Mhm.
story. Just
Mhm.
it wasn't matter what will be the story. I just wanted to draw
Mhm.
something, and I wrote it in like one evening. So it's not like a big story. Which
One
yeah,
evening?
yeah.
That's impressive. Wow, that's impressive. And I'm curious, do you share this with anyone when you write the stories? You share with any kids or, just so you get feedback from them?
Yeah, I have a lot of like nephews, and actually, I want to illustrate two children's books about them. One of them will be about mermaid Elena, and
Hmm.
another one about flower fairy Catalea. This is
Hmm.
my another nephew.
Okay. Well, and have you, when they see when they see your works like this story, what kind of feedback do you get from them?
Oh, they love it.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, they love me, and that's why they love everything what I do. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a good
the feedback.
story, by the way. I mean, I'm not just saying it because I want to say it. I mean, I read the story and I enjoyed it. And I have a 3-year-old daughter. So, I mean, I tend to buy children's books and just keep for her. So I mean, she's still growing. She's still learning how to speak. But yeah, it's something that I can read to her. And I also like the fact that I get to share the background to the stories with her. So talk about different cultures, talk about the fact that the artist or the illustrator is from a different culture. I mean, it just gives us something to talk about, because I find that beyond just the story, the person behind the story also makes it a lot more exciting. And I think your story is an inspiring one. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Thank
Yes. So um organizations now. I mean, when I met you, it was at the Scooby conference. It was my second time of attending that conference, by the way.
you.
And I joined Scooby because I had recently moved to the country, to the UK, not too long ago, just under 5 years. And I wanted to find a community, that I could, yeah, I mean, that I could work with, get to know, especially within my dreams and goals of writing children's books. So I'm interested. Are you a member of any organizations besides Scooby?
Um, yes, I'm a member of Scooby because I think it's the most useful like website and organization for children's book creators, illustrators, authors, then doesn't matter. And I'm also a part of AOI. It's Association of Illustrators. It's very helpful, but from the different side. I mean, they have a lot of materials for illustrators, but for me the most useful one is for business side, how to um, like set up my pricing, how to sign an agreements, how to like recently they had a very useful webinar about taxes for illustrators in the UK, and it's
Hmm.
new for me and it was very useful. So how to run your own business as a self-employed illustrator.
Hmm. Wow, that's really interesting. I don't know if you heard, because Tita also mentioned AOI, Association of Illustrators, as one of the organizations that she's affiliated with. Scooby also, and then the last one was the Society of Authors, SOA. So it's a good thing that you mentioned, and it was for the same kind of reasons that you've mentioned, helping out with things like contracts and the likes. So that's really good. That's good to hear. That's really reinforcing how useful those organizations are. Thank you for mentioning that. And I was going to ask you about the benefit, but I think you've already outlined the benefit there, which is helping you in terms of your business structure, helping you in terms of your pricing and taxes. That's good to hear. Thank you very much for that. I also would like to find out from you though, because I didn't know anything about Scooby until I came to the UK. How did you find out about Scooby and AOI? When and how, please?
um I don't remember because
Okay.
it was mentioned by so many illustrators. Because I told you I took a lot of them, and a lot of them mentioned these organizations. So I just can't
Hmm.
remember who was first. They're very
Yeah.
popular in this industry.
Interesting. And those illustrators, was that when you were in Sweden, when you were taking
Yeah.
those courses that okay, that's good to hear. Interesting. That's good. That's good to hear. Um, so what projects are you currently working on, Lola? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I'm illustrating right now. I'm illustrating two children's books. One of them about Grumpy Parrot, and another one about hiking. I love them. Also, I have three books in my head which I want to publish this
Mhm,
year, like for my own project. And just yesterday, the author who I work with and illustrate this hiking story,
mhm,
she already booked me for her second book. Yeah, because she likes the way how we work together. So it's
Hmm.
really easy going like
Hmm.
yeah.
Wow. So if I get you correctly, you have two commission projects that you're working on,
Yeah.
and then you're already booked for a third one.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, but then you have, I think, three you mentioned of yours that you also want to create this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And it's just
okay.
a like, small part of what I want to do this year because I have a really long list of resolution for
That's
this
good.
year.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Do you want to share more? Are they well? Do you want to share more about the projects that you want to work on this year, or are those just well, three of yours, and then I'm guessing as the commission works come, you keep taking them on, and right?
Yes, I I I really want to go to the children's Bologna Children's Book Fair, and it will be my first time there. And I've heard a lot about this conference, and this is my like the big goal for this year, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, about the projects, I have some in mind, but I don't want to share them yet because I'm not sure if I I will be capable of to like do it.
It's all good. It's all good. You don't want us to hold you accountable to that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bologna Book Fair. That's interesting. This is the second time that I'm hearing about them. The first time
Have
again
you-
was from Tita.
Oh, you
Yeah,
haven't
because
been there.
no, never, never. It was from Tita that I first found out about the Bologna Book Fair. I didn't know anything about the Bologna Book Fair until Tita she exhibited her work, the dress there at the
Yeah.
Bologna Book Fair. Yeah. So okay, yeah. What would it take to go there though? Is it an expensive thing? Does it require some kind of do you have to buy a ticket? How does it work?
Yeah, you have to buy ticket, but I think if my illustrations will be chosen for the exhibition, I will get the free ticket. But if not, I will buy it anyway.
Hmm.
Uh, I think the most like expensive things it's to travel to the Bologna and book an accommodation because it's already almost all hotels sold out for this period, so you
Hmm.
can't find anything like cheap or on average price. There is only very expensive
Hmm.
hotels left. So if you
Oh
want to
wow.
go to the Bologna Children's Book Fair, you should prepare from September just to go
Oh
to the Bologna in like April.
wow. Wow, wow, wow. So you start preparing from well 6 8 months before then, and it's holding in April, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I mean, again, all the best with that. I'm sure something great will happen. I mean, you never know when we put this one out there. Once we put out this podcast interview, I'm sure people will reach out to you, and yeah, that Bologna fair will become a dream come true. Hopefully, do you have any uh wish list of collaborations? Any artist out there that you would like to work with, or any author out there, or studio, or do you have any wish list of collaborations?
Um, Yes, I usually work with self-published authors, and m- most of them are trying to publish their first or second book. They're very new in industry, and I can help with them with everything. So I'm very experienced in design and marketing, so I can
Hmm.
do illustrations, book layout, preparing the files for Amazon. But I really want to um, try to work with big publishers, not with just self-published authors, but maybe like Penguin Random House. So
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, mention them, please mention them. So traditional publishers like Penguin, yeah, mention them. They're listening. Mention them, please, Lola.
it would be very interesting experience. But also I want to more learn more about marketing in children's books industry
Hmm.
because I still love marketing, and I want to try to promote my own books, my own projects myself.
Hmm.
And yeah, this is one of my big goal for this year to learn how to promote children's books and learn more about marketing. So
Hmm. Interesting. That's good to hear. Have you thought about the, because this just crossed my mind, agents? Have you do you have any interest in landing an agent or working with an agent? Because I find that agents are very popular around here for illustrators and writers. Do you have any interest in that?
I had like last year, but now I'm not sure because when you have agent, you also have some limits because I know that some contracts require you to work only with this agent and you can't take
Mm,
just side projects, or you can take like just 20% of side projects.
mm,
And I like my freedom that I want, that I can do whatever I want. But at the same
mhm,
time, the big publishers, they usually works with agents, and if you want to make illustrations for these big publishers, you need an agent who can promote you to them.
mm,
So I still can decide what I want to do more, like
mhm.
if I want more freedom and take that projects which I want, or I need to find an agent and be like just a normal illustrator.
Yeah, I guess it's finding the right balance because I've heard certain things about agents. I mean, I don't fully have an understanding of how the whole process works. So, but I've heard things like initially I was a bit what's the word now? I used to think that if an illustrator had an agent, then I would only have to go through that agent to work with the illustrator. And so what
Yeah,
I never, yeah, so I would often shy away from approaching illustrators that I wanted to work with because I'm a self-publisher. But
yeah,
then I have heard things like, so for example, when I spoke to Tita, she made me understand that the agent's role is to help you find, is to bring projects to you, is to find opportunities for you.
yeah,
But then it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't take on other projects. If anything, you out of professionalism, you share with your agents that, oh, you're going to take on this side project or things like that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I think comes down to understanding, so I think if you can find an agent who understands what you want in terms of your goals, the fact that freedom is very important to you,
yeah.
um I think yeah, that, do you think that can work?
Yeah, maybe. But um, anyway, I don't like just illustrating. I mean, I like it, and I know
Hmm.
that there are a lot of illustrators who want just draw pictures and don't want to think about agreements, where to find clients, and all of this. But I kind of like all this stuff, so I'm interested to discuss the project uh, with my clients, and all this agreement stuff is not very difficult for me. So um I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, I see what you mean though. I mean, so you are very comfortable with being the business person also,
Yeah,
which is good. Yeah, okay, yes. I get what you mean. I mean, some people just want to focus on drawing, some just want to focus on writing, but you're very fine with wearing multiple hats. You're happy to do marketing and things like that. Uh yeah. I should ask you then, Lola, do you have a business background besides marketing? Have you ever run a business and sold things and
no, this is will be my first own like business project, but I knew a lot about it because I worked with a lot of startups, and I made a lot of different tasks for them as a marketer. So I mean, in a small company, marketing specialists usually do like everything. So I kind of know how to run business. I just don't have an experience,
Mhm.
but
Okay, I
I
see.
believe
But
I do it.
yeah, that's good. I mean, again, given the experience that you have, and it just takes courage, I guess, and interest, which is something that you have. So kudos on that one. I think that's a good one. I should also go back to a question around business. So you're a professional illustrator and writer. You've talked about working freelance. Are there other areas of business that you're interested in, that you're currently looking into or looking forward to, engaging in as a professional illustrator?
Um, Children's books for other authors, because I like to create my own projects when I'm an author and illustrator. It's
Hmm.
interesting, but I feel that I'm more illustrator and I like
Hmm.
to bring stories to life. And when I work with another authors, I can see their stories and like bring them to life with my
Hmm.
illustrations.
Hmm.
Amazing. So I think this is
Ah,
what I want to do. Just mostly make illustrations for other authors and have one or two my own projects every year. That's all.
oh, okay. Okay. So merchandising never crossed your mind, animation, games, TV.
I tried animations actually. Yeah, I can animate my illustrations. It's just not as fun as I thought it
Hmm.
would be.
Ah, okay, okay. No, it's nice. That's good to hear. So where can people find you, Lola? I mean, people who want to work with you, you have amazing works of arts here, people who are interested in working with you, where can they find you and how can they go about finding or how can they go about working with you?
I have my own website or Instagram profile. It's usupova.art, USUPOVA.art. It's the same website and Instagram.
Okay, interesting. I'll share that with people in the blog posts and description to this podcast interview, so people can reach you. And you're happy for anyone to reach you at any point via those platforms, or do you have any
Yeah,
preference?
now I'm everywhere.
Ah,
I
okay.
mean, I also have like Twitter and Behance and Dribble. It's just Instagram and my website, like the most common
Ah,
way to connect with me. But if you will see me anywhere else, I
mhm.
will reply.
Ah, okay. Yes. And I should also ask about the clients that you're currently working with and the ones that you've worked with in the past. How have you found them, or did they find you?
First, I was applying for different jobs on Upwork or Fiverr when I didn't have like a lot of experience, and but a lot of projects there they not very profitable because these platforms takes their own commission, and then you have to pay taxes above, so you get not very uh,
Hmm.
much money.
Hmm.
But now I think Instagram is the platform where I find all of my clients.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the more that you share, because I mean, I see your works on Instagram. I love to watch your reels, by the way, for whatever. I mean, I just like watching them. I like the process of when you're illustrating and stuff. So people see those and then they reach out to you, right?
Yeah, some people find me by hashtags. Some people can find me like on online platforms. There is some Instagram accounts which share different works from different illustrators. So
Mhm.
you can find
Mm.
me there. And I tried to make some advertisement also, just
Okay.
try to target to self-published um, authors. It
Hmm.
wasn't easy, but it works actually. Yeah,
Ah, okay. Using Instagram, right?
yeah,
Hmm.
advertisement just to
Hmm.
uh, promote me as an illustrator. So I'm still
Hmm.
doing a lot of marketing job here.
That's good. I mean, that's good. I mean, marketing is. I always say marketing is the soul of any business. I mean, I run a business myself, so I know how much it helps to market. So, I was going to ask you, have you ever tried LinkedIn? Have you ever thought of using LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn works really well for me.
um, No, I mean, I have a profile on LinkedIn, but more my business profile as a marketing specialist.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it as a platform for me as an illustrator.
Hmm.
I don't know
Hmm. I
what
think
kind
you
of
should try.
profile.
So,
Um,
um, Sorry, take that again. Ask your question
Yeah.
again. Sorry.
What kind of projects or clients you can get on LinkedIn?
So with LinkedIn, right, it depends. For in most cases, you can get, like business to business.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I found useful for me is LinkedIn has a feature called create. You can set up your profile as a creator. So if you set up your profile as a creator, you get to feature some of your works. So when
Hmm.
people go, yeah, so when people go to your page, they can see your featured works. They can see like videos or articles or illustrations in your case, for example. So my friend that I interviewed, the illustrator who's based in Canada, LinkedIn, well, Instagram and Facebook used to be like the major platforms for him when he was living in Nigeria. And then when he moved to Canada, he found out that LinkedIn has been the most important platform for him from a business point of view. Yeah,
Hmm.
so
Interesting.
yeah, so you might want to give that a shot. And maybe yeah, you should also try and listen to that interview also. I think you might also find it interesting. I'll share the link with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, so give LinkedIn a shot. I have found from my experience that finding potential businesses or clients for my business, LinkedIn is the number one for me.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
number one for me. So I always try to post things on LinkedIn. I always try to share things on LinkedIn because with all these platforms, even with Instagram or Facebook, the more you share, the
Mm-hmm.
more they show you to other people. That's how the algorithm works. So LinkedIn is also a very good one. You'll be amazed at the number of people, and also in terms of directly connecting with influential people. So you've mentioned Random House Publishing as one of the potential publishers you want to work with. I think LinkedIn is the easiest way to connect with people from those places. Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, give that a shot. Yeah, I think it'll work really well for you.
Yeah. I'll try. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. No worries. Yeah. So the last question from me is: do you have any tips for other artists or writers out there that you'd like to share?
Um. Oh, it's the most difficult question
Really?
today. I think just dream and make even like small step towards your dream every day, and you can achieve everything you want. Just don't stop to do it.
Mm, mm. That's powerful. Thank you very much. And we have come to the end of this interview, Lola. You've done really well. Thank you very much for this has been very inspiring for me also. Let,
And it was very inspired and useful for me too. And for example, this information about LinkedIn, I think I know what I will do like in 15 minutes.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Thank you
let
very
me
much.
you're welcome. Let me end the recording now.